you'd hate to have you'd hate to have daughters. You really would. You know, you better be taking them to and from everywhere they go. Everywhere they go, you can't take your eyes off them, even if they're in the front yard or backyard, because they will put. Anyway, boys, it's not a horrible, horrible situation over there. Over here, there's no political power. There's none. We got our token. We've got our token one or two on the board, but they haven't got the power. They haven't got all the seats. They need mayors. They need council members and mayors. And once they overload the membership, then they move on to the next one. And they get them elected. And they do it in every single thing until they get the power. Okay, and once they've got power, that's when they can do whatever who are you going to complain to, the mayor? You're going to go to the mayor? He doesn't even speak your lingo. He has no idea what you're talking about. Absolutely none. Write it down on a piece of paper, you'll get it translated for later. You'll get it translated. And the same thing applies here, man. But our illustrious elite recognise it. They recognise it. But it won't be long. It won't be long before they get elected. It really won't. All it'll take is the numbers. See, they think if they flood an area, they're going to get the votes. They're going to get new votes, new support for their policies or whatever. That only happens for a small amount of time. When they have a certain amount of numbers, they elect one of their own. They don't elect you. All the votes go against you. They elect one of their own. Okay? I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. It's a horrifying situation, man. Hopefully we never get it here. The ones that are here, yeah, don't let them, let me stand, mate, my chest is hurting me. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you, okay? Don't let their nice way and, they're all smiley, because they're the ones that are on the DV. They're the ones that are doing the charge. They're the ones that are on awaiting in the back of the remand, okay? And the charmy, rah, is an entirely different one when they get political power. It really is. It's an entirely different ballgame, okay? I mean, imagine if the kid got power. Imagine if the young kid here, the one they all love and they all cherish and they all listen to. Imagine if he got political power. He doesn't have to know anything. They get him elected. Imagine the things that he would come up with that you would have to obey. And that's all it would take, is just one arger. Just one. So, good luck. Good luck over there. Over here, we're okay. We're already a prisoner. Well, this is a prison country, mate. We live in an open plantation. We don't have illegals here. There's no illegals. Not that I know of, anyway. We don't have them flooding in. We don't have them by the boat full anymore. They take them over to Manus Island and take them over there. So they're not hitting the mainland. Okay? And then from there they get shipped back. Or they get shipped to our other countries or whatever. I'm not sure. But we haven't had a dose of that since Howard. So it's been a few years, mate, since we've had a dose of the illegals. But you should stand for your own country. I've had enough of us, standing for other people's countries and other people's things, and they forget Australia. You live here, right? Doesn't matter what ideology, what nationality you are. Do you call yourself Australian? Then you need to start thinking and acting like an Australian, and start getting offended at the right things and not the wrong things all the time. Yeah. I mean, those the green flag people. Dude, all good. And then you burnt the flag. You burnt the Australian flag. So, exactly like that lady that I watched earlier on here. Like, I like how she's doing her personal protest. She's off to the side and she's got her things that she believes, and she's standing there with her sign protesting. Everybody else is over there and they're all doing their screaming or whatever, and she's over here. I've got my beliefs, and this shouldn't be happening, that shouldn't be happening. She said, I've protested everything. She said, and that is our right to do. That is, as a free society, we have the right to do that. That's my right to do. And she's right. Like, you don't have to be in there screaming and burning flags and, you want change this and change that, and you want to hold up the entire street because you want to drop down on your knees, rah, rah, rah. And everybody's got to respect you. You don't respect us. You do it right at that time. And you don't respect any of our customs or any of our wants. Every one of our holidays, you gladly not do. Every single one of these streamers. And we both know that. MONZ has never celebrated Christmas in his entire life. Okay, none of them have. All you got to do is ask them. And none of them have celebrated Christmases or Easter. They don't even like birthdays. They don't like anything. Father's Day, Mother's Day, no. They hate it all. They hate all of them. And they hate the bunny rabbit. If you get the bunny rabbit out, oh, fuck, mate, they're shit scared. They're absolutely terrified of the bunny rabbit. Okay? You want to frighten them? Just get a bunny rabbit outfit. Just get a bunny rabbit outfit and stand there with a basket of eggs. And they absolutely are terrified of the bunny rabbit. Okay? Santa Claus, they need to go to the hospital. They need the SWAT team. Okay? We need full tactical, like we're so offended. We need the full tactical response here for Father Christmas. Yeah, they hate him. And they're allowed to hate him. But what happens if you don't like any of their celebration? What happens to that? Too bad, right? Too bad, right? You're called the R word. That's what happens to you. You're called the R word. But they're allowed to be blatant and say, I don't do this and I'm not celebrating that. You've heard all the streamers say it, bro. I find it offensive. I really do. I find it offensive. You're over here, rah, but you're running every holiday down. I don't do this and I'm not celebrating that, and that's rubbish. And that's, why do they actually make fun of you? Because we celebrate Christmas, and they sit in their lives making fun of us, But you're not allowed to say shit against them. Oh, they'll come down and threaten you, and they want to meet up with you, and they come but they come with an actual thing. They come with something to sort you out, okay? And you get the big M, right? MONZ. He's in there. Show your address. What the fuck are you going to do? What are you going to do? Make a phone call? You're going to make a phone call, are you? MONZ? You're going to call one of your friends in freaking whatever? Oh, he's offended me. I'm upset. I need you to go down and sort him out. What are you going to do? Is that it? That's all you're going to do, right? That's all you're going to do. You're going to pass it over to a third party, have a little cry, have a little think about it, and then you're going to get them to sort it out. You want them to sort it out because you're not happy. That's about the only thing that you're going to do, And all of them are the same. And the other one, mate, that carried an actual thing with him that came to hurt the person, like you actually bring a KNIFE to there, to the meetup, and you actually went and you did that, and it fell on the ground, and it's all on camera. It's on camera. Like what world do you live in? Like the insanity of it, and then it's all on camera. It's all on Tiki being filmed. And what are you going to say? I didn't do it. I'm innocent. I'm found innocent. Okay, it wasn't me. You know what I mean? So no, don't fall into their bollocks, mate. I don't like any of them, man. Oh no, I'm Australian, mate. Australian. I grew up in America. I've got family in America. I went to your school there. I went to your school, and I've lived in Florida, lived in California, San Diego, Colorado Springs, Denver. I can't remember the other half of the places that I've been. My mum owned a bar called Tiffany's English Pub, and it was in Wood End, Colorado. So I don't know if it still exists. I don't know if it's whatever, but that's what it was called back then. Tiffany's English pub, okay? Because I built the freaking thing with the boyfriend. So it was a good pub. It was a good pub, bro. It was a good pub. I grew up. I'm in Australia. I'm in Australia, Americans. You've got enough problems over there. Americans, you got a lot of problems coming your way. You got a ton, mate. You got an absolute ton. And I don't know when the ride will end. I can't give you a date on it because they manipulate everything. The people in charge, they manipulate the whole thing. Like, your dollar. I'm talking about your dollar, the American dollar. And once they made it, it could happen so quick. It really can. And I've been trying to warn Americans because I've got family there. Once the countries have sold your bonds, once the other countries have sold the American bonds right down, which I think China's at $900 million in bonds left. They had freaking trillions, and they've sold them all down. And then you got Japan, you got the other countries. Mate, they're selling off the bonds. And once that starts to happen, and they get rid of the debt, they're going to swap over to the BRICS. They're going to swap over to gold and silver backed commodity, because and that's the end of you. It really is. That's the end of you, because the EUA, whatever, the Saudi people, they didn't re-sign your contract. Your contract that's like allows everyone's got to have the dollar to buy oil. Yeah, that they don't have that contract anymore. You can check it out, man, on Google. Okay, so now they're allowing all the countries to buy their oil in their own money, and in gold and gold, and mainly gold, buying it in gold. Okay, and that's why all these countries are pumping the gold. All the big corporations pumping the gold. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but they're pumping it, bro. They are buying it up. They're buying whatever they can get hold of. They're buying it, and that's what's driving the price up, because the dollar's going shit, but everyone's putting their money into the gold. Bitcoin, all the crypto pump and dump bullshit has gone into metal. All that money went into metal. Okay, so that's why you've got that huge flux right now of people going into the market. They're a bunch of mugs. They could have bought these same coins, mate, for $25. They could have bought these ounces and things they're chasing, mate, instead of $160. They could have done that over freaking ages, 2 years ago, and it would have been $30-something an ounce. There's a big difference. So I've been telling people for years. I honestly have, for absolute donkey's years. Ever since it crashed down to 23, and then everybody got scared, and then it went up to 50, 49, 50, and then it just smashed after that. Smashed, right? It just nosedived, right? Mate, I watched the turmoil. I watched the blood in the water, bro. I watched the absolute turmoil that caused. It was hell. It to me was just the best experience that I've ever had, because it's shown you what they were up to in reality. And I told my viewers then, please, man, if you've got any paper sitting in a bank doing nothing, you need metal. You need metal. They sold Jesus out, mate, for 30 pieces of shekel, mate, of 30 shekel, whatever it is. That's 30 pieces of silver. Okay? 30 pieces of silver. That's what cost the Lord his life. So that's how much value it has, but has been, decimated by these people with paper. Paper contracts, bro. There's no reality in it. It's all paper bullshit. Non-reality stuff. It doesn't exist. There's no physical exchanged. You walk in there, you want to buy a thing, and they give you a piece of paper. They don't actually give you the physical metal. So, it's going to become a huge, big, something's going to happen. I don't know. I'm not a financial person, mate, at all. I've got no idea, but something is brewing, man. Something is happening. But getting back to the posting, mate, it's good to have a breath of fresh air on here, because he speaks the truth. He never spoke anything bullshit, bro. Everything he said was truth. And there's not many on here that can come on and say it, because they get smashed. Their channel gets totally annihilated. Because you've got people that actually follow these people, like actually think that they're something, yeah? Like it's insane. I don't know what they see in them. I really don't. But you'll serve your purpose as long as you don't run out of coin. As soon as you run out of coin, then there's no difference between me and you. You'll be banned just like I am. You'll end up where I am, but minus your bank account. Fuck. Well, do I need a big crowd or something, mate? Or do I? You're here. Why are you here? That's 2 times you've been rude, mate. I don't even know you. No idea anything about you, whatever. Oh, there's the sugar. No wonder I've got no bloody sugar in me cup of tea. Because my sugar is here. But there's no need to be rude, mate. I haven't been rude to you, so no need to be rude to me. You can go and do that in other people's chats, mate, all you like. I don't know who's on live right now for you to do that to, but I'm sure there's someone. Someone for you, mate. I wish you all the best, boys. You're going to need it. Alright, nice cup of tea, mate. I keep telling myself I'm going to advertise my masks when I come online. That's what I keep telling. I'll go on there and show my masks. I'll go on there and show this. I'll go on there and show that. And then I realise when I get on here now that the amount of problems that I had, it's just, I don't know if it's worth it there, Chad. I don't know if it's worth showing your mask, mate. So, got asked questions about UFOs last time I was online. UFOs, flat Earth, you know, bloody Bigfoot. Bigfoot. That was interesting. There we go, boys, bit better. Pass the night a bit evenly. Nice resin there, nice taste of resin. Lovely. I'm on my own. I don't have any anyone to placate or demanding of me. No one with their wants. I think that was the hardest part of being married, mate. Was other people's wants, the demands that come along with it. And there's no real on the other side. It's all just one way. What? Shit, I wasn't meaning to invite. Sorry, man. I thought that was someone. There was things there, and I just clicked on that. And sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that. All right, boys. I've cleaned the panel. First time being rude, mate. You're sitting in my chat being rude to me. I don't know why. Why would you? Anyway, mate, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. You're a little fucking rat and fucking come. Boom. Fucking come. Boom, brother. You're out of here, bro. There you go. Yeah, nice cup of tea after something to eat, mate. Nothing better. Nice little cup of tea. A little cup of Dilmar. Don't know what you want to talk about tonight. Welcome to open the panel up. And we'll discuss whatever you want to discuss. Kind of, don't really talk about... I just wanted to have a couple of streams where I'm not talking about family law court and magistrates courts and men's issues and... People go mad at me because I talk too much about it. Thanks for the likes. I need to get another haircut, I think. Getting a little bit long. You sure do age quick, eh? Sure do age quick. I remember when all this was clear. No wrinkles. I remember when all that was clear. I'll try and use some cream, mate. Thank you very much. You're kind. I appreciate you. If there's something you want to talk about or discuss or whatever, you know, I don't know. I don't know whether. Oh, you had a phone call earlier. I had a phone call, which was lovely. I've got I've got daughters, and both of them are like older now. You know, they're like, you know, they're nearly 30. You know, not yet, but you know, a couple of years, right? So anyway, they're married and you know, happy, rah rah. So my daughter's on a holiday. She's on a holiday, and she's in Tasmania. She's going to a concert, and she looks beautiful. You know what I mean? She's got a really nice hat on, and all nice clothing on, and smiling, and she's happy, and you know, she's with her friends and everything like that. You know, it's good to see your kid happy. That's basically all you know. I had a 35-second phone call. Okay, look, have a good night. Dad loves you, and catch you tomorrow when you get back. And that's it. Let her go. Let her go. You don't. No need for you to want to know or look around or whatever. Let her go and have fun with her friends. It was good enough that she answered the call, mate. You know. Kids are good, man. Kids are good. Kids are the best. Kids are the best, bro. Kids, you get like seriously, man. You want 10. You want 10. Okay. Seriously, you really do. Once you've had a couple of them, that's it. That's it. you know, why stop, right? Why stop? Have more children. You know. I was asked by I was asked by the ex there, do I want more kids? And I kind of like reminded her, you don't even talk to me. You don't even talk to me. What do you mean more kids? Like, you don't even talk to me. Okay? So, I don't know what you're expecting. Maybe the next guy. That's what I said. Maybe the next guy. I said, but, yeah, you don't even talk to me. I don't want that. I'd rather be with someone that talks to me and is happy to be with me, and you know, we have fun together, play board games and card games or something at night, you know, watch a movie together, you know, have Valentine's Day and all that kind of thing. No, the chick's gone, mate. The chick's gone. She's gone. She's out the door. Christmas, the same thing. Doesn't celebrate it. So there's no interest in it. So she would just get up in the morning and leave and go over to a friend's house. And you don't see her until 4 p.m. Well, it's a fucking joke. Well, you're just scratching your head. What is going on, right? They don't celebrate it. You know, you find out that where they grew up, they didn't celebrate it, rah, rah. I said, that doesn't mean that you don't celebrate it now. You know, you've moved here. We've got a little one. This is Santa Claus time. And this is when, you know, the illusion is there. And you've taken it from it. The illusion's gone. Okay? So it's just not, you know. But, you know, they only think, they're not interested in what you think, mate. They have no interest at all, unless it aligns with them. And then if it doesn't align with them, they're not interested. They'll argue over it, because it doesn't align with what they are planning. Don't ever think you're free. You're not. Don't ever think that. I've learnt that. You know, our elections have shown that. You know, the visit, you know, has shown that. Herzog visit shown that. Doesn't matter what we want. You know, you'll obey, like the good goyim that you are. You know, you won't complain. And if you do complain, we've got some laws for you. Okay, we've got a couple of laws over here. Okay, so you're not allowed to say this. You're not allowed to, you know, I mean, it's full on, viewer, full on. So I was watching one of those lives earlier, man. I thought that was a breath of fresh air watching that. At least he names people. He tells you what it is. And then they all come in to try and shut him down. They all come in complaining. They all come in the comment section complaining at him because you're not allowed to talk about us. You're not allowed to mention us. Okay? We're protected. Okay? We protect each other. And that's what'll happen too, viewer. That's why they don't mind battling each other when you've got two DV people in the boxes battling each other. Both of these are on charges, and they're being supported by females. Both of them. I watched them for a while, and like this guy they have no accountability for anything they've done. They'll look at you and go, "No, I was found innocent. I'm innocent." The chicks, it's all there. I'm innocent. I didn't do it. And you watch him do it on video. You watch him do it. She protected herself and filmed it. Yeah. And they stand there and deny it. "No, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. No, it's her fault. She shouldn't have mouthed off. She shouldn't have done this. She shouldn't have done that, rah. That's how they try and defend themselves, viewer. It's quite horrible. Like, they have no, they have no thing, mate. Da-da-da-da-da. That was a nice cup of tea, that one. I wouldn't know about that, man. I don't know about that, man. It's been a few years since I celebrated either one. Every Christmas my daughter was gone. She would take my daughter every Christmas, 8 o'clock in the morning, gone. So I never got to give presents, mate. I never got to, go in and be the Christmas thing in the morning. My daughter and her were already gone. And if she didn't unlock the back door, well, then I was locked out of the house the whole day. Couldn't even get in the house. So until she got home, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And, "Oh, sorry about that, I forgot, They don't fucking forget anything, man. They leave you locked out. So, no, I never had any pleasant day, mate. I give my daughter some presents at the end of the day or whatever. I've tried to cook dinner, cooked Christmas dinner, but no one's hungry. They don't want anything, and she won't eat anything. Doesn't like Australian food. So that was the end of that. I'd end up back, just do the dishes and end up back in the garage. And that's my Christmas. Pretty much. Every year. They can be quite horrible when they want to be, gentlemen. They can be really, really horrible. And just no reason for it. It's Christmas or whatever. And there's no leeway. There's no... Anyway, I hope you're all good, viewer. I hope you are happy, healthy and well in your life. I do hope you have someone in your life that loves you, that's real and not fake, and that you don't have to sit on here trying to look at it. And do not hook up with any of these blokes on here. I don't know why or how. I don't know what you're seeing them. I really don't. Fuck, I really don't. But hey, they all seem to do okay for themselves. I'm just so surprised that they end up being fathers. Like, I'm just blown away. I really am. Like, I just shake my head. I cannot believe that some Sheila's actually, she's looked at it and says, "This is the best thing ever. I'm going to have your children." Fucking, there's fucking something not right there, bro. There's something not right. And all done on the computer, all done on the tippy tappy. Very strange. The only people that are tippy tapping me are women try to get me over to WhatsApp. They try and get you over to WhatsApp and they want you to invest in their business and, they make friend out of you and tell you how great you are, rah. Just waste their time. Oh, fucking waste their time, boys and girls. Absolutely waste their time. And carry it on for as long as you can. Okay? Because they'll want to be your best friend, and then they'll tell you they want you to invest in their business, and have you heard about Bitcoin, or have you heard about this? And they try and get you to invest in shit. So, try and put it off as long as you can. It'll be, the second or third conversation, and they'll already be asking you to invest in their Bitcoin platform, or their uncle has this or that or the other. They're very clever. They get you to download a platform just out of interest, or they give you a link, and you open the link up, and it's like this platform shows all these numbers of crypto and businesses and all this kind of stuff, right? And in the last so you click on the link, right? And the whole thing's a lie. It doesn't exist in reality. This is something that comes from them, and it's for your eyes only, and they can create any digit on the thing you want, okay? But as soon as you put any money into it, that's gone. That's instantly gone. Your number will come up on the screen, okay, that it's deposited, but it doesn't exist. It's gone. So you can't withdraw it. That's what I'm saying. You can put into it, but you can't withdraw out of it. And it did trap a lot of people. A lot of people are gullible as shit. Like, they're so gullible, to actually believe any of this. Yeah. Another said he was drop shipping. So I need you to move this product over to this box and push confirm. And if I can get 100 orders done, so that it's all fake. The whole thing is it's the own website that he created. So he's getting you to do the repetitious thing. And that way you put your card in. You put your card in and think it's really easy. And yeah, that's the same con. It's a nice con, mate. And that's how they earn billions and billions of dollars, man. Like, billions go out of people's account. As soon as you put your BSB and account number, yeah, they've got you. They've got you, bro. If you put a transaction in their account with your the number on the back of the card and all that, well, you've just given them full access to your credit card, and it's a fake site. So now they can go in and withdraw whatever they want. Yeah. Or just go in and buy crypto with your account. They can get into your bank and buy crypto with it, and you don't even know about it. It'll be gone instantly. Instant. All of it. So, why do I have to go to bed? I don't start till 11. I don't start till 11 tomorrow. Yeah, 11 o'clock. 11 till 2:30, something like that. And that's it for me. I do 3 or 4 hours tomorrow. And it's Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. It should be sweet, mate, from Friday. Still clean and stuff from Friday. So, a little bit of patch-up work, the counters, floors, cleaning and that. That pretty much helps the person. And yeah, you're out of there pretty much, mate, if you keep to your job. Don't have a big talky talk and a cup of tea and all that. I don't do any of that. I just do my work, mate. And I think to myself, these people live like absolute trash. They really do. And they do because there's people like, me and whatever, that go in there and clean it. And that's the reason they live this way. Because there's someone before me, there's someone after me. There'll be someone here to do the cleaning. Dishes, counters, garbage bin. They don't do shit. They're filthy. Some people are filthy, bro. They live really, really filthy. Like, they don't even wear shoes. Everywhere they go or whatever, they don't wear shoes. And, one of them will tell you, man, they've been cooking something on the stove or whatever, and there's like splatters of oil on the floor. Yeah. So they don't wipe it. They don't clean it up. They've been walking in it. So it's now on their feet. So everywhere they go in the house, whatever, it's freaking oily, the floor. Yeah? Not only that, but their feet, because it's oil, everything sticks. Everything sticks to the feet. So it's black. Their feet are black. You're fucking black. I'm serious, man. They're black. Because they don't wash. There's some pretty filthies out there, man. There's some pretty filthies out there, bro. They're a bit smelly. They're a little bit smelly, okay? You get in there and it's smelly, okay? I need the windows open. I need the door open. Yeah, mate. People that smoke inside are the worst. Do you like that? When people smoke inside their house? And like you walk in and it just stinks of smoke, you can smell it in the walls. It's freaking You know, it's disgusting, mate. You know, it's disgusting. I don't smoke inside. I don't smoke a whole lot of anything. I've had that packet for ages. Since Wednesday or something I've had it. Something like that, I think. So yeah, I don't really have any. But I don't have anything inside. There's no ashtrays in here, buddy. Because it stinks. You know, the after smell. I don't like the after smell. It's only good when it comes from Justin, man. Justin, right? Yeah, it only comes from good if it's from Ryan, mate. He created it. It doesn't mean anything otherwise. And he doesn't pull it on me because I'm not. He doesn't pull his stuff on me. You know, Ryan. He doesn't. He gets me out real quick when we bump into each other on here. He doesn't stooge me. He doesn't try and stooge me. He's a good kid. Okay, funny kid. He should have that shit on a t-shirt or a cap. Yeah, he should have that stuff on a t-shirt or a cap. It's quite sad though, really, mate, that people can actually, you go into a live or whatever, and a lot of them are, aren't they? A lot of them are, eh? Like, a lot of them are fully fledged, absolute CK heads, mate. Like, they're full on, and they're not shy. They're not shy when they get it. They're not shy. They're bumping into cupboards. They're, all kinds of crazy shit on that stuff. No, I'm old. I got rent to pay. I got bills to pay. I got a life to lead, mate. You don't have any of that. I've seen some people really downfall on that. Really, really just gone. Not good, man. Not good, man, that stuff. Don't hang around with anybody that's got that. Don't participate, and don't sit there watching other people participate. You need to get out. You need to let them speak to them again. Don't have them around you. You don't want them around you. You don't want them around the house. You don't want them around you. They will steal everything. Okay, I am serious. Okay, once a thing, always a thing, bro. And they will nick everything that they can, in order to, have that. So you can't even trust them around you anymore. Okay, so it's quite sad because they can really fall down, mate. And it's only something happens to them, and they adjust back again. What is it? When something happens and it makes you realise something. There's a particular saying for it. I can't think of it. I can't think of it. Thank you for coming into my live. We are blacklisted. My channel doesn't come up on FYP. It's not on any suggested thing or whatever. And you don't get any notification. There's not a lot of notification going out, bro. They don't like what you say, bro. They don't like what you talk about. So they close you down. I do appreciate my stream, though. I do thank you for that, buddies. Okay, ladies, I thank you. Don't get offended at anything that I say in my lives or I talk about or whatever. These are just my own things that have happened. There's nothing made up about it. Everything is real. That's facts. So, yeah. You're looking at someone that went through, we've had, other halves since I was young, okay? I've always had, okay? I had a bit of a break because I just wanted to have my own apartment and, just concentrate on work. And then I had a little bit of a break, and then I'd meet someone in the Burke Street Mall, while I'm selling perfume, because I sold perfume in the Burke Street Mall. And I had the secretaries, I had the girls from the perfume counter in Myers. I had plenty of choice. And I ended up choosing Marie. She worked in the perfume counter. She was absolutely stunning. I couldn't believe that she's outside in the mall talking to me and she's not happy, okay? She's not happy. she's the perfume. I didn't know it. So she told me, right? I'm the perfume girl inside, and you're outside selling perfume, and I'm not happy about it because you're taking our sales away. And she was a total stunner, just a total stunner. And I said, well, what would make you happy? She said, if you packed up and went home, rah, rah. I said, how about if I pack up and I move 10 foot that way? Will that make you happy? Because I'm right outside your door. I'm right there. I'm right outside your door. Burke Street Mall in the Myers, okay? I'm right outside the door, man. And I'm killing it, bro. I've got people going everywhere, mate. I'm doing really, really well. Yeah, so that's what I did. I said, if I do that, will you take my phone number? If I do that, okay? If I do that, will you take my phone number? And if you're not busy, tomorrow night, tonight, this is where Mari's rocked a lot. Okay. Yeah. What a chick. What an absolute. Yeah. What an absolute blinder. 3 years I was with her. 3 years. 3 years I was with her. I ruined it. I messed up. Well, I blame myself. I blame myself. I blame myself. I kind of read the situation wrong, and sometimes when they tell you something, they don't actually mean it. Yeah? You've got to decipher whether they actually mean it or whether they don't mean it. And I mistook it. Yeah? I mistook what she said. We're broken up. We're broken up. I don't want anything to do with you. We're broken up. Rah, rah. And it wasn't, so I said, okay. Okay, not a worry. Yeah. And, I didn't know. 2 or 3 days later, she rocks around. I've already got a thing happening here. It's fucking, hey, there's no power really, okay? You just got to, move on now, right? So, I upset the apple cart there. And I kind of been thought about it a little while, I've been thinking about it and that, What do you want me to do? That's what you said. And then you rock up 3 days later, and then you want to tell me that we're not. You want to tell me that we're not. And now you're running down the road, screaming and whatever, half-dressed, carrying on. It was just a really weird situation. Weird. I don't know what do you want me to do. 1 minute you tell me you're broken up, you don't want nothing to do with me, you leave, you go back to your parent, you don't talk to me, and the next thing you know, you lob up at 3 o'clock in the morning, banging on my door. You come in, you're already half thing, and there's already a Sheila in the sheets, mate. There's already one there, and I'm just scratching my head thinking, hey, that game, you don't play games. You don't play games, okay? So you have to go home. You have to go home. I'll see you. We'll talk next week. And that's how it is, bro. And then I got back to the apartment because she's run down. I've gone back to the apartment and that chick has left, mate. That chick has left, right? She's seen what's going on. She doesn't feeling a bit uncomfortable, gets dressed and leaves, right? So now I'm sitting there and I ain't got shit. I was doing all right 10 minutes ago. Now I'm sitting there empty-handed, mate. Fucking empty-handed, mate. Okay? So sometimes the game can play, but you won't like the results sometimes. You won't like the results. Yeah. And I ended up with either of them. Neither of them. Yeah, I ended up with neither of them, bro. The other one just took off, got dressed and left. I don't blame her. You got the Sheila there causing a scene at the front door. And then I'm asking her what's going on. All that was in front of the Sheila. And she's come out in a towel. So mine's getting even more upset now. There's more, more of this, more of that happening. Oh my God. Talk about a drama at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was horrible, man. I remember another time I had this mate called Simon, and Simon thought it was a fun joke. He thought it was a fun joke to send some Sheila that he's met, rah rah, and meet me here. This is my address. Meet me here, and it's my address. It's mine. It's not his. He doesn't live here. So now I've got a Sheila banging on my door. I've got my girl up here that I've been with for 2 years, and I've got this Sheila down here banging on the door, asking for Simon, rah rah, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to tell her, but I'm at the front door. My girl's there. I don't know what you're talking about. Ask Simon. I know him. So you got his address, rah rah, and this is all in front of my girl, and I had to drive the girl home. We drove the girl home to make sure the girl got home, and my girl was good that way. Because it was all in front of her. This is, I don't know what to tell you, hon. You listen to her. I only know what you know, Simon's given her this address because he wants to meet her here. I don't know if he's being cheeky, whatever, or he was being, trying to cause problems or whatever, but you can hear her tell you yourself. So it's nothing to do with me, Yeah, nothing to do with me. I can give you peace and quiet, mate. Okay? I can do that for you, man. Alright? Calm. Boom, mate. There you go. There's some peace and quiet for you, bro. Okay? You can have all the peace and quiet you need now. Is that okay? Did you like that? That was good, eh? I like that. It gets my blood going. I'm an old bloke. Used to be able to do it better in the old days. But can't do that here. We got them all tonight. You follow a lot of people, man. You're a follower. You're a follower, mate. That's all you are. Kaboom, mate. You're just a follower. Thank you for coming along. I appreciate you. Shame I can't give you the entertainment that I used to be able to give you, man. But on here, it's all AI. It's the algorithm. So your facial expressions, your voice tone, everything like that. That's why they can say things really, whatever, as long as they've got their tone is normal and, you can say whatever you like, really. The algorithm doesn't pick up on that. It only picks up on the, on your tone, stuff like that. How you doing, man? That's a nice name. Olivia. That's a nice way of spelling it, man. That's a nice name. Some people have got cool names. I've got a boring name. I got a boring name, Charles. It's so boring. It's just, I'd like an unusual name, something that's unusual, that you don't hear every day. So that's a nice name. Hello. Greetings to you, wherever you are from. But it's too, it's just too plain or something. I don't know. It'd be good if I had they call me, when I was young, Chad. C-H-A-D, Chad. That's the conversion of Charles in English conversion of it. So I had a better name, was Chad. But now Chad's the synonymous one. Chad and Tyrone, and, they're the ones that are hitting it, right? They're the ones that are getting it, right? Mate, I just laugh, man. I just laughed. Because compared to what I've met, these young men, they have done nothing. They've done nothing. They've gone nowhere. They've never even been on a date. They've never lived with a woman. They've had nothing at all. Nothing. There's a whole generation out there that have never even been on a date, and they're all worried about, $5 or $10, and they are the ones that asked out, rah, and it's ridiculous. It's no wonder that you'll never be able to bond. You've got to feel like she loves you, and she's got to feel like you can provide and protect her. That's just what it is. That's the game. Okay, if you can't play the game, then you shouldn't be playing. Period. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort, but you've got to put your end in. You got to put that bit of work in. Otherwise, you're not gonna. That's not how it works. I don't know. I never had any problems when I was young. I never had any problems. I always had, if I wanted to meet someone, I could meet someone. I was single 5 years my entire life. That's it. Just the one between the first marriage. Took me 5 years to get over. And after that, I had another marriage. I was ready to, be a dad and be a husband and, not put my past behind me kind of thing. And I ended up in a worse spot than I ended up in a lot worse of a spot. Just a lot worse of a situation than what I should have. I chose wrong. I pretty much chose, if I'd only just, far out. It's not that you choose wrong. You can't, I can't say that. Just the backflip. One day you're presented with something that you think is who you're going to be with or whatever. That's how they present themselves to you. And then the next day, because you've signed on, they've got a ring on, the next day they flip. The next day. It's no longer the person you know. You don't know this person at all. You don't know them. They don't talk to you anymore. They won't go out with you. They don't want to be seen with you. You get the whole broad range of I don't like you, and you've only just signed yesterday. This is your honeymoon. That's your honeymoon. So yeah, I had a pretty bad. So I don't want that for you guys. I don't want it. If you go to a foreigner and you go and marry a foreigner, try and live there. Try and live there. Okay, because coming back here, there's, try and live over there, wherever you go. You got to try and live over there. You want to get married or whatever, live over in that country. Okay, coming back here, they get westernized real quick. They learn the rules, the laws. They get updated by their single girlfriends. And they only have their own community because you've married a foreigner. So they don't intermingle with us. They've got their own community. And you're sitting there and they're all talking their jargon and you don't understand a word. You don't, because that's what it is. So that's what they do. They all get together. They don't have nothing to do with me and you. Okay? They have their own schools, their own thing. They don't come anywhere near us at all. They're offended that I'm who I am. They're offended, I felt that was a lot in the class that I attended, that I was there. I was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, especially if they're talking about my child. I want to know what's said. Okay, I want to know what the discussion is, and you're both looking and stuff like that at my daughter. You're discussing something. I want to know what it is. I don't want someone looking at me and go, "Oh, it was nothing." Well, obviously it's not nothing, love, because you sat there talking to the bloke for 10 minutes, and what's the go? Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. Just blanks you off. Won't explain anything to you. That's uncomfortable. I couldn't swallow it all. I'm sorry, I couldn't. And I live here. I don't live in a surrounding, where I could use it all the time. It would just be to talk to the person that I'm with. So we came here. We didn't move to Beijing. We moved to Australia. Okay? There's integration. There's supposed to be, you know what I mean? I thought that we would be, this has just come out of nowhere. This is not something that's been the whole time. This is waking up and saying, I no longer speak your language. I no longer speak it. Okay? So I only speak, my language, rah-rah, and that's it. So if you want to talk to me, you've got to speak this language. It's their decision. It's them. And then after that, they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you. Okay? You didn't marry an Asian man or Chinese man. You married an Australian. We live in Australia. Okay? So for you to sit there and tell me that you don't want to talk to me, right? It's my language, and I've got to learn your language to talk to you. That wasn't in any brochure that I read. I didn't read any information on that. Like I've got to learn an entire language. Come on, man. You know how hard it is to learn Chinese? It's not easy. Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that, man. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I thought it's not really worth it. It's not really worth it, man. I live in a spare room. Like I've always slept in the spare room. I've never woken up in the marital bed. I've never woken up in the marital room. I got moved out of there within a couple of weeks of buying a house. I got moved out. So I've never even we've got no relationship at all. None. So this is kind of like the little cherry on the top. You know, they got you into the spare room. Now we don't even talk to you. Now, yeah, no understand. No understand you. Yeah, no understand. No understand. It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious, honestly. Like it works in a job that's English orientated, bro. It studies in English when it goes to school. It's English that it studies. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when they say, I don't understand, rah, rah, that's lying. They're just lying. Of course they understand. Of course they understand. But they can break communication and, you know, blame you. You didn't learn my language. It's your fault. You've got to learn an entire language to speak to this person. And there's no cookie. There's no cookie. The cookie's not on the table. Cookie firmly removed off the table, put into the cupboard. That cookie is under lock and key. It's in a magic box that's got a big chain and a big padlock around it. There is no cookie for you. Okay? It's a cookieless situation. You got plenty of milk, but no cookie. No cookie anywhere on the table. It's locked up, buddy. Okay? You try getting that cookie, there's going to be a problem. The cookie is in the cupboard, and it's locked up with a chain in a box, bro. Okay? There's no cookie. There's no cookie. There's none. There's no cookie, bro. There's not even a hug. There's not even a kiss on the cheek, mate. There's not even a hello when you walk in the room, buddy. Women will do this to you and not even hesitate, not even think twice, and they will blame you the entire time they're doing whatever they're doing. They will blame you. And if you react to it, if you ask why are you acting this way, they go to and make a phone call and they say that you did this to them, you did that to them. Okay? That's what they do. They wait for you to react and then they go and report it, and every time they get you to react, they report it. Okay? And that's to build a case. You know, they're very clever, mate. Don't ever, you know, you boys think that it's instantaneous or something. You know, a woman wakes up in the morning and wants to break up with you. She doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, rah, rah. And you're all heartbroken, right? You're all heartbroken, yeah? Mate, they've already thought about it for 2 months. They've already thought about it, planned it. They've talked about it with their mum, their dad, their best friend, their sister. Everybody knows except you. Everybody. Okay? Everybody's had an opinion. Okay? You are the last one to know. Trust me, you're the last one to know. And that's why it doesn't affect them. That's why whenever they break up with you, they're not in tears. Have you ever noticed that, boys? They're not in tears because they've already planned it, pre-thought about it. How do I get to that point in order for that to happen? A lot of effort and time and goes into that. It's all planned. The whole thing, they can't. I have had so many instances happening in my life in regards to the other side that I know it's a fact. I know it's a fact. You know, Mrs. Stacey down the back of the market stall. You know, it's supposed to be your girl, mate. Comes with you in the car. Comes with you and unloads and sets up the stall. The night before you're at the hotel, mate, having dinner, smashing it, mate. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And then they come to the market the next day and they help you out. You know, you look around and bang the chicks down the back of the market, mate, talking to another bloke. Okay? That's your girl, right? You love her, right? Well, there she is, buddy. Okay? In a nice little conversation down the back of the tent, mate, with another one. So, you know, Me being the champion that I am, fucking champion, mate. I just walked up and said to the bloke, mate, look, she hasn't had any lunch yet. Why don't you take her for a walk around the market and have some lunch together? You've still got an hour and a half before the market finishes, so why don't you go? And I said her the same thing. She's right there, right? This is supposed to be your girlfriend. Remember that, you know. And they walk off together. They walk off together. They're supposed to be your other half. You know, it hurt, but you learn, mate. You learn that this is the true nature of the beast, mate. You know, they have no accountability and no second thought about it. Went walking off with the bloke. And, mate, between me and you ladies, I threw everything in the van, the steel, the tent, everything in the van straight away, ASAP. I had Mario helping me and the next door neighbour help me to throw that shit in the van. And I am out of there. And as I'm driving through the market, who do I bump into, mate, on the way back? Right? Love, don't worry about it. I packed up a bit early. Mario's going to give you a lift back. And I just kept driving. Didn't give it a second thought. She caught a ride home with one of the other stallholders. You see, but that's what they think you're silly. It's the same thing when you're married and all that. You've got a girl and all that. You know, I hope you don't have to outthink it, rah. But if you don't, it's going to cost you a lot of paper. Like, it can cost you everything. It can cost you everything, mate. Yeah, you know, you think you're clever and you got it all organised. No, mate, you don't. You really, really don't. And you'll realise it when they start pulling their power and they start, you know, taking things off the table that were there before, you know, that are no longer on issue. They can't, you know, the pooty pie goes, then the love, the kisses, they all go. The hugs, the niceness, that all goes. Instead now you're left with a snarling, you know, non-stop complaint, just fucking rah. That's all you're left with. And you cannot keep it happy. You cannot keep, doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much money you got. You know, there's proof around the world, boys. Even God couldn't keep her happy. Even the almighty God couldn't keep her happy. I mean, think about it. You know, you got heaven, right? You got, what's it called? Eden. You got Eden, right? Like it's a paradise. You know, all you got to do is wish it and it comes true. It's a paradise. You don't need anything, okay? You know, Adam looks at Eve and says, beautiful, eh? It's really lovely here. And she looks at it and says, yeah, it really is, you know, but, I love that but, you know. And, you know, off she goes to the tree, mate. Off she goes to the tree, has a bite of the tree, takes the tree back to Adam, infects Adam, and they both get tossed out. They both get tossed out, brother. They both get tossed out. Why? Because Eve wants a bite of the apple. You know, she's in heaven, but there's still something more. There's something missing, you know. There's something more, yeah. You can't keep them happy. That's my point to you. Even God couldn't keep her happy. God. Do you understand? What chance do you have? You know, you've got famous footballers, basketballers. You got that world famous football guy, $500 million he's worth, you know, the big famous guy. And the whole time his wife is shagging the pool guy. The whole time. He was shagging her for years. Okay? He found out about it and planned all his shit and put all of his stuff in his mum's name. Did it slowly over time. Didn't say anything, pretended he didn't know, and put it all in his mum's name. And then when she went and filed, there was nothing there for her to take. He didn't file. She did. You see? And she wanted the house. She wanted a payment. She, you know, had big expectations, brother. She's married to a billionaire. So her expectations were through the roof. You know? You've got plenty of instances, man. Okay? So you need to guard yourself, bro. Because you'll get cast out, mate. Mine is just resources. Just as much resources from anywhere that you're plucking it, and then just leave you on the side. Leave you on the side. Okay? They walk away completely whole. Completely whole. They have absolutely everything. They have, including what you walked in there with. You don't even have your personal items before you met the person. You don't even have that. They've got all that too. And they can throw it in the bin. You know, they don't want to look at it, they can just throw it in the bin. That's what will happen to you. And there's hundreds of me. It's not just me, there's hundreds of me. Hundreds. You know, you'll get to my age and this is what will happen to you boys. Okay? And they'll have you paying the mortgage, mate, right up till the day they make a phone call. Right up until the day you're going to get absolutely smashed, right? They're going to come with a piece of paper. They'll have you paying the mortgage. They'll have you doing the lights, the electricity. They'll have you paying it a month early because they know it's their plans. They know their plans, right? So they want to get as many bills done before it comes in. Because they freaking know, mate. They know. You know, they're told by the blue coat, you know, we need to file this, it's going to take a couple of days, whatever. Mate, they get told. They're fully briefed. Yeah? And nothing is worse, man, than them finding out you know. Once they know that you know, the game is up. Okay, I'm just warning you now. So if you have to pre-organise yourself, don't show your cards. Don't let them know that you know. You've got to act stupid. You've got to act like you don't see anything. You don't see shit. But you've got to plan your exit because that's what they're doing. So you need to start, you know, that's what you'll need to do. Because it happens to all. You know, there's a small percentage where they stay together, rah, everyone's happy, rah. And the rest of them, mate, no. They all lose their house, they all lose their property, they all lose their kids. All of us. Every single one of us. You know, we're not all this, and this. That's impossible. You can't say that. You know, I'm not a bad dad. I know I'm a good dad. Yeah, I know I love my kids. And I know I was there with my daughter every day. So for them to say to me that I should never see my daughter again is absolutely criminal. Criminal. All right? You know, you don't spend 4 years in family law court for them fighting, for them to turn around and go, you deserve no contact at all. Like, that is just ridiculous. You know, and I've run out of money. And Centrelink doesn't want to fund me anymore. They don't want to fund me. So they gave me a choice. You either sign this piece of paper or we don't fund you. And I said, well, I'm not signing my daughter away, which is what the piece of paper was. You know, you never see her again. You never have any contact again. This is my own lawyer is trying to get me to sign off on it because it's legal aid. And they don't want to be doing this anymore. This costs a lot of money. Do you know how much money it costs? It's a lot of money to go into family court. It's not cheap. Okay, so lawyers, family law court fees, paperwork, all of that, they got sick of paying for it. I mean, I spent 38K. That's what I spent on family law court, 38K. And all they did is adjourn it. Adjourn, just adjourn it. You just listen to more allegations, whatever. No need for proof of anything, just accuse, whatever, and that's it. Then they send you away to prove her wrong. You come back to court. They don't even listen to you. They don't care what you've done or whatever paperwork you've put in. They'll only listen to her next complaint, whatever next thing that she's got to complain about. That's what they listen to, and then again it's turned straight to you, like you are never-endingly proving to the court. You're never-endingly. That's all you're doing is just sitting in there proving with courses and receipts and psychology reports, and you know, then the other person says, oh, that's not good enough, you know, he needs to do another 10 sessions. Like, suddenly you're a doctor, you know, we have no communication, but you're going to tell me I need to go. You don't do anything on the order. You have not obeyed a single word on the order at all, and you're now recommending what I should be doing. Like, you know, that's you know, it's criminal, bro. It's totally it's set against men. It's not set up for men. It's not set up to benefit our relationship with our children at all. It is there to drain your resources, gentlemen. It's not there for any kind of result or to make her do anything. They don't do or say anything to her. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, they don't. That was the end of my case. What are we going to do, Mr. Barker? We can't force her to obey the order. What are you expecting us to do? And then the contact centres, you can only have 6 visits. That's it, 6. We can't force her to obey the order. You've just told her now in court that she doesn't have to, and that's the end of the case. What is the point in going further? You're never going to enforce the court order unless it's me. It's me you need to enforce it on, then full weight of the law. But over here, completely unaccountable. No accountability. None. The person will stand up in court and go, oh, because you raised your voice 5 years ago, that's why your daughter doesn't want to see or speak to you anymore. But you've got contact reports, okay? When you were able to see your daughter, you have to have everything recorded. It's not, gentlemen, you're no longer a father. You're no longer anything. You're just a person that pays the child support. You have no rights at all. Okay? So anything you do, you need a third party to watch you because you just can't be trusted. You're a man. So, and if you don't have that third party watching you, they go back to court, family court, and they create their own story. They can create any story they wanted on how you were there and you acted and what you did, and they can create any fairy tale they want, and you've got no way of protecting yourself. This one over here created a fairy tale, an absolute fairy tale, and doesn't know that I've got a report. Doesn't know I've got a report, Bo, until I put it into the courtroom. And it contradicts everything that she has stated. And there is no accountability. None. You have basically lied to the court. Yeah? And there's none. None at all. So, it's not good, bro. They poison your children, man. They poison your children against you, man. They tell them a whole bunch of stuff that's just not true. Just not true. And all men have to deal with that, man, as fathers. So I don't recommend it, gentlemen. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Why would you put yourself through that? And then it's going to cost you 50 years of your work, 30 years of your job, 30 years of your time and your whatever you've been able to gain in your life. And that's what happened to me. Like the first one, little apartment there, rah, that's gone. This one, a house and land. So they're just devious, man. They're after your resources. That's about it. You're good for a time, and then they go after the goal. They go after what's there. Yeah. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend marrying them, moving them in. I don't recommend anything like that. Have girlfriends or whatever, send them home. Send them home. Okay, enjoy your time with them. Take them out, do whatever. Have your fun and send them home. Sunday night. Send them home. You've got to go to work or you've got to go to college or whatever they're doing, and you send them home. There is no reason for you to live with them, or there's no reason to move them in. There is no reason to marry them. There is absolutely none. And I'm talking the latest generation. I'm not talking every single thing. I'm talking the latest, modern version of what we have. Is truly, a pretty wicked and a pretty, I don't know, man, just not nice, okay? Not nice. Don't be mad at me. If you need proof from a third party, go on YouTube and look up Cheetah Buster AI, okay? Just watch a couple of episodes of Cheetah Buster AI and, sit there and watch them and tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that anything I've said is a lie. And it's right there on the camera. They're walking along, everything's happy, everything's nice. How long you been together? Oh, 3 years. Do you love him? Yes, I love him. Do you love her? Yep, we're all in love. Let's swap phones. Right? And you see how that works out. You know, this person's on Hinge the last 3 months. She's been on numerous dates. You know, weren't you at my mum's house? We were on Thanksgiving, and you were in the living room. That's what he said to her. That's when you were at my house. We're at Thanksgiving. Fucking, you were actually talking to someone on Hinge at Thanksgiving at my mum and dad's house. I just, because they that's how they roll, man. That's how they roll. They will look you in the face and then go into the bedroom and tippy-tappy, 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 and then they pretend that everything between you is sweet. Everything is cool. Yeah? Everything is cool. I remember one chick, this is the truth. I remember one chick, she was really nice. I met her at the market, and she was really cute, really nice, Australian chick, curly red, long hair, blue eyes, little dove face, little tiny dove face. And she had these cute little teeth, really tiny, tiny teeth. And she was really cute. So ended up going out that night, invited her over, got dressed. You know, we just didn't want to leave each other, really. We just met each other or whatever. She's cute as shit, dude. I don't want to go anywhere, right? So I'm trying to get this chick over to my house. She's trying to get over to my house, mate. So, you know, go home, get dressed, you know, have a thing. I'll see you at 8:30, 9 o'clock, okay? And I'll meet you in the city. I'll meet you at the Hyatt Hotel. At the bottom, there's a hotel. On the left-hand side, when you go up the stairs, there's a restaurant there at the Hyatt, and I'll meet you there. That's where I met her, at the Hyatt. Everything was cool. Went out on the date. You know, as you would admit, the Lord Dobby is a handsome bloke. He's very humble, but he's very handsome. So of course, you know, it's come back. It's fucking right. Everything is cool, right? Wake up in the morning, and you know, do you want to stay? Yeah, but I need to get some clothing. I need to get a change of clothing, you know. I said, that's a fair, because I thought she lived with someone. She told me she lived with a housemate. So cool, I'll go and we'll drop you over, we'll get some clothing and, you know, get your stuff. So we go over there, mate, I swear, go over there, and it's a big bloke, red hair, suit and tie, and he pulls me on the side because I'm moving shit out, and he pulls me over the side. He says, do you know who I am? I said, a housemate. I said, that's what she's told me, like a roommate. She said, no, I'm the ex-boyfriend. I'm the ex-boyfriend. So here I am moving this chick out of her ex-boyfriend's housemate. This is what we call a classic monkey branch. This is Monkey Branch 101, brother. This is Monkey Branch, okay? These chicks, fucking hell. So here I am moving this chick out of her ex-boyfriend's house into my house, bro. Like it's complete Monkey Branch. There's no break. There's no nothing, bro. It's straight from one straight to another. Fucking bang. You know, I had a nice place, a nice house and shit like that, yeah? But that's when I woke up to Monkey Branch, where they have no hesitation on having the new guy go over and move you out from the old guy and not even twig to it. See, that was the biggest red flag of the whole ball game for me. You see, that was the biggest red flag that I learnt in all of my dating thing, okay? Because that is what it is, yeah. So I learnt from that, and I kept my eye on it, and it does exactly the same thing to leave me. I knew it. I knew that I could count on that, yeah, because that's the trait. That's how it's programmed. So I knew when it met the guy who, you know, in the play, he's not a good looking bloke. But he's been able to get a commercial on TV. And he's on TV, some deodorant or something like that. It's a 20-second commercial, right? But the guy thinks he's a movie star. So now he's on doing a play in Ringwood. He's on the stage doing a play. And that's who my girl was opposite. They're doing their play. I liked plays. I liked them. I liked helping her study for them. I liked the character. I liked the night. I liked how it came together. I liked how the whole play, you know, every play that we went to, I really liked. It's just amateur drama theatre. Anyway, cut a long story short, he's put the promised land in. You'll be able to get a commercial, you know, you'll be popular, rah, rah, rah. I can do all this stuff for you. Mate, that's all it took. She come home, packed her thing, and off she goes. Okay? I let it go, mate. And it came back, I don't know, a few days later. And no, I'm not letting it, that's we don't roll that way. That's it. We don't roll that way, buddy. I don't know, but they get very offended, mate, if you talk about anything. They get very offended. Unless you talk about something that they want to talk about. They get really offended. I don't know who EDP is, mate. I've got no idea. I've got no idea what even that means, okay? I've got no idea. I couldn't even guess it. It's not a video game. There's a new one out there, Reanimal. You watch that one? Reanimal? That looks pretty good, man. I think it's a computer game. Or PS5 game. Nothing much really else out there in the video game section. It all seems to be the same thing. There's nothing new that is playing on here. Reanimal seems to be the only one that's new playing. It seems interesting. I think it's the part 4 of your Little Nightmares. I think it's the part 4 of it. Must be fun with 4 of yous. You know, you've all got your different roles to play, right? Must be fun with all 4 of you. Be careful who you watch on here, viewer. Be careful who you waste your time with and who you, talk on here with or whatever. These streamers. Be careful. All right. Well, you wanted the invite, I'll let you have it. You're not even in the room. It goes to show you, viewer, they're not even in your friggin' room, mate. They've never liked your stream, but they want to be let into a box and they want their point of view heard. It's very strange, So is the Earth flat or round? Well, I pose the question, is it flat or round? What is the Earth? Flat or round? Is this the only civilization that has lived? Is this the only civilization that has lived? Or was there civilizations before us? Was there anything before us? Or are we just it? Will we ever go to the stars? Will we ever be able to travel outside of the hemisphere? Will we ever get past the actual dome, the firmament that's above us? You know what I mean? Oh, God, man. That is some funny stuff. Yes, Bigfoot is real. Okay, he's out there, Bigfoot. Mate, Bigfoot is out there, man. I warned my sister when she's in America. She said she's going camping. I said, you got to watch out for the Bigfoot. Okay? You go boating. You don't go to the shore. Okay? Not unless there's a couple of you there. Because Bigfoot could be waiting in the bush. Okay? He's there. There is a Bigfoot somewhere. Okay? That is one. That is one. Will we ever find the right ratio of butter to Vegemite? This is historical. We need at least a summit. We need some kind of government mandate here. A commission. We need a commission on Vegemite, ratio to butter. Nothing like good Vegemite, mate. I've got 2 jars in the fridge. Most of these, little fellas can only have a little bit on it. With me, you got to chunk it on there. You got to chunk it on there with me. Vegemite's great, mate. I love a bit of veggie. There should be a full-on investigation into it, I reckon, mate. Full-on mandate. Okay, we should have a commission, like a royal commission. Yeah, we should have questionnaires. We should have, consultations, mate. At least 6 months. At least 100 million. Okay, we need at least 100 million. Okay, to get to the verdict of all this. To get to the facts. How much Vegemite goes on a piece of toast? Oh, God, it's funny watching an American eat Vegemite. It's hilarious watching a Vegemite eat. Mate, I believe in everything, backhand. I believe in everything, mate. I believe in everything, mate. Everything. Everything, mate. All right? Serious. You're everything. Whatever they tell us isn't real, is real.
Whatever they tell us isn't real is real, and whatever they tell us is bogus is real, and what they tell us is bogus is real. It's the opposite of what they tell us. It's the opposite. They haven't captured anything, rah. Yeah, I don't blame them, man. They're not stupid. But whether they're, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm only joking. I got no idea. No one's caught anything, bro. But I believe in everything, mate. Okay? They're all there, man. Okay? He's there. You just got to get out into the trees and you're gone, mate. I do know that there's a lot of missing. On YouTube, 911 Forest, and listen to the stories. Listen to them. They cannot explain where these people went. Like, they cannot explain it. Okay, the guy tells a story of what happened to these people. They're all walking along the trail. They're all in a line on the trail, and the last guy just goes missing. There's not a single word. Just gone. Gone. Disappeared. Another time they're in a clearing in a barbecue area, and the kids were playing hide and seek, and one of the kids, the father was watching the kid the whole time, seen the kid go behind the bush, he watched the bush, and then the kid's gone. 2 days later they got a sighting of something carrying a child up the mountain. They don't know what it is or what, but they could clearly see that he was carrying something over his shoulder. There's something out there, man. Without a doubt. There are too many gone missing in these forests. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people go missing in these forests. So I don't know what to tell you. They've got some good films. They've got some unusual shit, dude. I watched one film, the guy's miles away, and it's the side of the mountain, and there's just something running down this freaking mountain, bro, and then it runs up the other side of the mountain. So the guy gets in a helicopter, goes to the side on top of the mountain, and there's big freaking footsteps there. Big, he could film it, but he's too far away. You know what I mean? He's just watching basically a dot just running down this snow-covered mountain and up the mountain. It's impossible that a human can run that way. Just impossible. And then he went there with the helicopter. There's plenty of instances, mate. And you can't tell me that, you can't tell me they're not there. I don't know if they're green alien or whatever the fuck. I don't know. There's Nordics. They describe them as Nordics. They look like they're blonde-haired, beings, so to speak. They come from the other side of the ice. That's what I truly believe. I believe that they've already... They come from the other lands. They come from the other technology. They come from over there, over the wall. We know there's something over there. We know that there are cities there. We know it for a fact. Okay, we've got witnesses for that. So that's where they come from. And what about this orb? What about that? What about this freaking orb? It's flying around everywhere, darting everywhere, this orb, yeah? And then it hits the power line and falls down. Okay, mate, they carbon dated that thing to 12,500 years. That's apparently what the carbon date is. So this thing was around, all this time, mate. And it's not the only one flying around out there. So what's that about? What's that about? And it's lost weight, mate, because he said that apparently that's the power source. Because it's vibrational, interdimensional, whatever fucking he explained it, and it needs time to stop motion. So it takes, it took a month or something to get back to its normal size. It lost 10 kilo of weight or whatever. The sphere, the steel thing. Yeah, it's unknown elements, mate. Aluminium and unknown elements. They don't know what it is. Okay, all the things that graft all over it. Where did that come from? Who made that? What was its purpose, man? It's not remote control, freaking, there's no engine. The thing was filmed, flying everywhere. The thing was filmed, mate. Yeah, hits the power line, falls down. So it got short-circuited, mate, by the power lines. It didn't see the power lines. Didn't recognise them as something that would hurt them. Electricity, it short-circuited it. So that's why it got blown, it come out of the sky. These are very interesting things, man. I find them fascinating. I really do. There's an entire history that's been robbed. Everything that we've been told is a lie. Everything we've been taught is a lie. I guarantee it, man. I can guarantee it. I don't know what that means, Little Miss. Little Miss, I don't know what that means, but I do like your name, and I do hope that's what you are. That would be wonderful if that's what you are. But I very much doubt it. You'll probably be a big hairy bloke with a mustache and glasses, and you're sitting there on the computer, and you call yourself that name. That's just what you wish you had. That's just what you wish you had, man. They don't really what's going on. That's just what you wish you had. Oh, you're a fucking lonely little simp, aren't you, brother? You're a fucking lonely one. Oh, it's okay, mate. You can come to Uncle Charlie's. All right? Uncle Charlie take care of you. All right? Don't you worry about it, mate. Don't you worry about it. We'll take care of you. Oh, my God, Father. It's always the opposite of what, is what presented to you, bro. It's always the opposite, okay? Anyway, I don't know. I got a thing. I got to
Hey.
try and answer to it. He's been going mad. Hello.
How you going, brother?
No, I'm all right, mate. How are you today? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good,
Yeah,
thanks,
what
mate.
you up to?
Oh, just watching you. I've been watching you for a little bit, so.
Well done. You're a little bit of style, class, and elegance in your life, mate, from the humble Lord Dobby.
Oh, cheers.
Listen, man, you got a busy week coming up. You got your studies or you're working. What are you doing? Oh, you're gone. Ah, well. Nice to meet you, mate. I just would have asked what you're up to, what you're doing. I want men on their path. I want you on your path, gentlemen. I want you to get a trade, a trade, a piece of paper, a trade. Electrician, bricklayer, cement person, they make a fortune, mate. You need a trade, boys. Okay? Just choose one. Plumber, whatever. A trade. That's what you need. You need to be able to provide a service. And then you can go anywhere and do anything you want, and you can always do that trade. Shit, I was watching a plumber video the other day. The kid, there's only a young kid, he charged $2,700, mate, to fix this pipe. $2,700. Like, I was stunned. Like he had to cut it off there and replace this and whatever. But $2,700, but that's what they're trained for. He goes to school, he learnt that. I don't know how to do that. You don't know how to do that. To him, he makes it look easy. He just goes twist, 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 and inserts this, inserts that, and he's done. He was done in 20 minutes. He was done. Okay, so learn a trade if you can. That was my mistake. I can honestly tell you that was my mistake, is not learning a trade. Bricklayer, anything like that. Cement person, electrician, plumber. I'm not expecting you to go out and be a doctor, okay? You know what I mean? I'm not expecting you to go out and be a doctor, okay? But being a trade is the best thing you can do as a young bloke. Well, thank you, Mr. King, for pointing out the obvious. Do you feel good now? Do you feel proud of yourself? I wasn't here talking about my age, mate. You might be able to learn something, bro. How's that? You might be able to learn something, mate. Do you like to learn, mate? Are you a learner? Hey, understand? Understand? You might learn something, bro. Because there's not a lot that we haven't done, bro. There's not a lot that we haven't ventured to. I always tell you, gentlemen, to take the chances in life. Get your backpack on. Go. Go. Don't cause trouble in other countries. Be respectful of their laws and their customs, and don't disrespect them, but you'll have a good time. Yeah? And go and see the world. Go and see the world. Go. Get out of your mama's spare room. Okay? I've done that. 10 years before I came here. I had to rent rooms everywhere. And you can live with some pretty, really nice people, and they turn on you or whatever. It doesn't take a whole lot. You might get a better job or a better thing, and they just get narky at you. They get narky. And if you've got a job and they haven't, they get arky. So it was a constant thing to find, somewhere to live. You'd be at work, you come home, and your fridge is gone. I had a little fridge in my room. The fridge is gone, I look up on Facebook, fridge, my area. The bastard has sold my fridge, mate, while I'm at work. He sold my fridge. Like, you've got to put a lock on your door, mate. They steal everything. You go to work, you come home, your shit's missing. And the guy looks at you and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. No idea. No idea. He's just gone. Every day they take shit. Good morning, my love. I hope you're happy, healthy and well, beautiful sister. I hope you slept well. Enjoy your day. It's a Sunday for you. So, anyway, the game was good last Sunday. I watched the football there at the Gridiron on last Sunday, which is tomorrow for us. It's a beautiful day, man. Yeah, it's very warm. It's nearly midnight, and it's warm, man. Really nice little breeze, I had a pork chop, mashed potato, and sausages for dinner, sister. That's what I had for dinner. And I got one left over, so I'll have that tomorrow night. So I've had dinner. I'm happy. I had some dinner. That's it. Living in peace. You hear, sister? Living in peace and quiet, mate. Haven't had the TV on in ages. I don't know what's on. Got no idea. Don't even turn it on to look. That's about it. Come on here to talk shite, mate. Come on here to absolutely talk shite, mate. Ooh, that sounds yummy. That does sound yummy. You lucky. Kyra's in Tasmania, and she's going to a rock concert. She was on her way with her friends, and she's all dressed up with a hat and looks really pretty. She looks so pretty, and she's on her way to. It was just happy, I was glad 30-second phone call, yeah. But anyway, it was good to see the kid. She's happy. Yeah, it was good. Take some pictures. Take some pictures of the chocolate for me. Chocolate's expensive here in Australia. It's fucking $8 a block. $8 now. Yeah, $8 just for Cadbury. And then the other brands are even more expensive. I don't know why they think they're going to sell that golden rabbit, and it's friggin' $20 for a golden rabbit. And then the small one is $12. It's a tiny little fucking rabbit. $12 and $20. So I don't think there's anybody buying any Valentine's stuff. I mean, they'd be crazy. Absolutely crazy. You could go there a couple of days after Valentine's. I think they'd be half price. Like, seriously, everything could be half price. Yeah, I think that's a better option. Buying for half price. Anyway, let's talk, because Americans are on here now. America's on here. All right? We need to put that cartoon theme on, from the movie. America, right? That one, that cartoon, the marionette, fucking, that's what I feel we should have it on at this time. The land of the free and, the land of the rah-rah, right? The land of liberty, the land that doesn't exist anymore. The land that has changed so much since I was a child that you just don't recognise it anymore. And it's not even American anymore. It's not anything that we can recognise as USA. The people are, the land is, the people are, but not these people up here. Not the ones that are getting the big money. The ones with the power. Yeah, they're not American. None of these people are American. None of these people will do anything for America. And, we have, America has homeless, it has war veterans, it has people in real need. And all of those trillions and trillions of dollars that get sent over there, are gone. Just, you know what America reminds me of, man, when I was young, right? It was like a peach.
And it was all juicy and peachy and it had full of flavour, yeah? And then Ishmael comes along, like the little bug, yeah? And just sucks all the fucking juice out of it, just slowly fucking from the inside. And you can't see it from the outside. You can't see nothing from the outside. It still looks good on the outside, but on the inside, it's completely demolished. It's eaten alive inside. But it presents to you as that way every time. But in reality, it's a rotten peach. Rotten. The whole Congress and government are as rotten as Australia's politicians and government are as rotten. But it's even worse because they stand for the last bastion of liberty and hope and freedom and what the American people feel that they stand for. And they don't stand for that anymore. You know, people think of America, they think of the support of Ishmael. You bring up Ishmael and straight away it's USA, rah-rah. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be able to do it, rah-rah, which is the truth. You know, like, you fund everything. You're America, you fund them. You give everything to them. Everything goes to them. You know, they have free medical, free school, housing, all of this stuff subsidised by the American taxpayer. All of it, trillions of dollars, goes flooding into them. You know, and I felt ill. I felt ill. You know, he's come over to visit. Oh, he's come for the visit. I thought it was bad here. I thought the Herzog was bad, red carpet, cops everywhere, fully gated community, fucking, you know, full-on protection mode. Over there, mate, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it because they love him. Oh, they love him. He's open. You know, they're all giving it this, mate. They all welcome it. They all walk in and they welcome it, and they all standing ovation. 27 times they give him a standing ovation. Every single one. Every one of it made me feel ill. Made me ill. Made me feel so ill. Because this is the people that rule the car. They're the people that write the laws. And they're not America first. They're not. Dude, bro. Just a matter of time. You know, Ishmael has got plenty of things to. Ishmael has got 7 war fronts at the moment. They are in 7 different things doing what they're doing. And then IAM, that one, they want that country gone for resources, oil, okay? OPEC, the other Saudi people, they no longer sign the contract. No more contract with the USA. So their oil is not that dollar. They can sell it to whoever they want, any country. You know, currency, not USA only. So now they need oil. They need it. Just to keep the USA sweet, all right? So that they're not, because everywhere else is selling bonds. Everywhere else is selling America out. They're selling all their treasuries. They're getting rid of their treasuries as much as they can, dumping them. So as soon as they've dumped enough and they're not holding enough of your debt, everything will get called in. Everything, they'll call it in, okay? And that's the end of you. All of your money or whatever, inflation will come back to you. So it's quite scary, the scenario. And I don't see anybody in Congress that's going to change it. I don't see any of these people in suits, mate. You know, on their knees, kissing the toes, are going to do you any good at all. So it's just sad, mate, because America's the last place. You know, if they get the laws they have here put into a USA, well, that negates your constitution. You know, it negates your thing. You know, and don't think they won't do it. Don't think it won't be part of some bill somewhere. And they'll have anti-hate speech and anti-this like they do in Australia.
they'll try and have the same laws passed over there. And then that ends your constitution, da-da-da-da-da. Okay? So, good luck, America. I don't know why you are so beholden to these people. I can't understand you. Like, I really don't. You know, you say it's all in the book. Yeah, that's not. I don't know. There must be a section in it that I'm missing, because that's not how I interpreted it. But I'm nobody, right? I'm not a scholar or whatever. But that's not how I interpreted it. But they've twisted it over there. They've got a lot of evangelism, a lot of, pumping that same story, the same rhetoric, and then it becomes believable. Once you hear something, over and over and over, you believe it, whether it's true or not. You just believe it because you've been repeated to you over and over and over. It's pumped into you. Geez, you guys are good at conversation, Coming on here, mate, it's just like non-stop, mate. Just the banter. It's just great, all this communication, Go back to YouTube. Go back to YouTube, sister. Go back to YouTube, brother. Fucking hell. But I'm safe this way. I'm safe. The minute I go battling, that's when my problems start. The minute you go battling, and the minute you get gifted, that's when your problems start. They don't. Very full on here on TikTok, man. That's life. So anyway, these people, bro. I came on to highlight. It was nice to see Posty tonight. It was nice to watch his live. I enjoy his facts. I enjoy his facts he talks. Yeah? I don't know who that is, man. Anyway, it was nice to hear him, actually speak some facts. And I was watching his video earlier, ladies. I was, wanted to get your point of view across, and see when women have had enough. Because there's nothing that men can do about it. We can't stand up and complain about it, because if you're a man telling the guy not to go in the woman's change room, you're the one that's going to get chucked. But if a woman stands there and says, I don't want you to refuse you, that's when you've made a stand. Okay? We can't do that as men. So I'm going to have enough. When women stand up and say, no, Blank, you're a bloke in a dress, you look like a bloke, you act like a bloke, you've got very masculine energy. Anytime you open your mouth, he's pretty masculine, right? He's not feminine, okay? When are you going to have enough? Yeah, it's a 16-year-old's wrestling championship at a school, and it's her mum. She's filming her daughter. And you don't see anything wrong with it. You just watch the match. You don't see anything wrong. But you do see the kid, look at her mum in distress. Just for a few seconds. She looks at her mum really distressed. I didn't, it's her mum. It's on TikTok. So anyway, she just lowers it down. She gets pinned, 1, 2, 3, match ends. And the kid comes over to her mum. She's crying. She's really, really upset. Just bawling, mate. Really upset. And, as a viewer, you're wondering what, and she told her mum that she had been digitally groped in the whole time. And you watch the wrestling match back, and she's right. The person did put their hand right there, right in between, and the hand was firmly in there a long time. The kid got flipped over and pinned, and the hand is still there. okay, the whole time. And I'm talking right in there. Anyway, because it's a girls' championship wrestling match. So the lady goes and complains to the coach. Coach says, don't worry about it, it'll be okay. She goes and complains to the other coach of the other team, and the other team's coach said, look, you need to know that's a biological man. That's not a woman, that's a biological man that she just wrestled. And I'm wondering why there's not, a huge big thing about it, because they're trying to get rid of the girl. They're trying to get rid of the girl that made a complaint, not the one that committed the offence. And to me, that's an offence. You didn't know that. You were in a female competition. So I was just amazed that, when is it going to be enough, ladies? When are you going to draw the line in the sand? And you've had enough, and you don't care about a freaking sign. You don't care. You're not setting foot inside. I don't care what law there is. My daughter is inside, and you're not coming in. Over here in Australia, mate, they will blue you. The women here, they will absolutely tear you apart. Seriously, they will. You've got no idea what Australian women are like, mate. The mothers over here. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, man. And I'm telling you, if he's about to walk in or she's about to walk in and the mother's on the outside of the door and he's in the front of the door, he's already in so much trouble, he doesn't know what is going to hit him. Because if he doesn't get out of that fucking doorway, she's going to absolutely pummel him. I'm serious. Because now you're blocking her from her, okay? And you're going to stand there arguing with the mother how it's your right to do this, your right. No, mate, she's just going to grab you. Get out of the way, all right? Get out of the way. In Australia, they're not going to put up with it here, brother. You're not going to be able to go into the swimming things here. There's nothing like that where you can go here. There's parents like me that are really watching everything that our children do. Who they play with and who they're talking to at a pool or whatever. Yeah, isn't that disgusting, sister? We are the second behind America. Yep, we are the second behind America. They have busted, sister, so many people that are in office that have power with thousands of images, and they've let them go. There's a ton, an absolute ton of people, blue coats, judges, all the way up, that have been busted with the images and nothing gets said or done. Nothing. I believe it's a huge problem everywhere, and we were talking about that earlier about the kids, because in Australia there's thousands and thousands and thousands that go missing every year. Like literally, that's gone. Max. Just be in a couple of months. That's it. So all you know, I don't ever they all came together, all got their own thing. I'm Mexican, so I'm not as a good person, so I can't hang up there. Because the whole school was just next to that. So there was only we basically hung out together. We did hang at the school, mate. My sister can tell you that. I skipped out
in at lunchtime, and I'd head over to there. Out of the band and start. Fights unless it was involving female, because they were offended that I liked, and I didn't even know what they're talking about, but the girl said she liked me. So once that happened, whoever liked her over there, now they want to come and fight me, and I'm like, I got nothing to do with a rah rah, sorry, So no, I had a few close calls, but nothing that I'd done, mate, that would get me rousted. Not that I can remember. I have fond memories of school. I have fond memories. Good friend, good people, nice school. It was what it was, but I didn't fight with anybody. There was no fights at school. There was no. I don't remember anybody getting bullied. No, sorry. No. And then even in Australia, mate, I remember coming here and, straight up, right, this kid was a total fruit, right? Like he can't help what how he is and how he thinks. He's that's how he is, right? And, I don't care. I was only young. I don't care. I swear to God, I thought he was a nice guy. He was funny, and he dressed real good. Like he really dressed nice, and he was only my age. So we were leaving school, and I had detention. Of course, I've always got bloody detention, and leaving school late. And there's this guy. There he is, and he's like, like you come out of the front doors and you got to go walk to the street. He's like right there where you go down the stairs, and there's like 4 or 5 kids running around him, and they're all like, giving him, about his clothing and stuff like that. And mate, I swear to God, on a Bible, I walked over and said, "Is there a problem? Is there a problem? Something wrong, boys?" So, mate, I was happy to put my hand in the air for the kid. He was a nice kid. I liked him. Good kid. I don't care, mate. It's nothing to do with me. That's the only bullying that I've seen, though. That's what you call bullying, right? Yeah, that's the only bullying I've seen. When someone like that was different and they wanted to make fun of them or whatever. But in our school, man, it's not put up with. It's really not. All the students will have a go at you. All of my friends that are students, they're not going to sit there watching you, whatever. They're just not. Yeah. So in our school, the students dealt with it, bro. The students dealt with it. It's global. Go. I know you don't use, man. I've got no idea. I don't care. Don't like loud, thumpy music. I'm too old for it. And there's no 420s. There's no doves. It's just not worth it anymore. There's no doves, mate. There's no fucking doves. I'm not going out anywhere, man. You can't chuck a couple of doves down, bro. How am I going to enjoy that? That's just all it is to me is thump, 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 thump. That's all I hear. I don't hear anything else. At least with a couple of yellowtails or a couple of, that would be a lot better. That would be a lot better. A lot more enjoyable. Back in my day, that was all happening, brother. Okay? It was all happening. That was the days of Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, that was his day. Supplying fucking everything, bro. It's fucking, the streets are flooded. I don't know, 50 a thing, 50, 60 bucks. That was it. Yeah. The good old days, brother. The good old days. It's better than alcohol. It's a lot better than alcohol. I swear to God, boys. Like 10 times better than alcohol. And that's why they banned it. That's why they come down on it so far. I mean, seriously, that and the tax.
the government wasn't able to charge a tax on it. But have a think about how many people have died on alcoholism, mate. How many people have died on alcoholism? You know, every year. Look at all the diseases that alcoholism costs. You know, in my day, mate, you chucked a couple of yellowtails, or you chucked a 420 down, the white dove, and you're not drinking anything but water. Okay, that's it. You don't want alcohol, mate. Alcohol tastes horrible to you. You don't have any cigarettes; they taste absolutely horrid. You can't smoke anything. You don't drink anything. You just enjoy your music and drink your water. You don't even have Coke. You have water. You know, because you're too busy dancing and shit. You're too busy, you know, you're on a different plane, bro. You're seeing freaking lights and shit, dude. You're seeing characters jumping out of everywhere, mate. You don't know who you're talking to, mate. You don't know what's going on, but it's pretty fucking good. It's pretty, I swear to God, man. And then if you can meet a chickie babe on that same wavelength, like you chuck it down at the same time, and it hits at the same time, oh my God, you can have a ball. The two of you have an absolute ball, mate. You know, if it's a good place, good music. And there's plenty of water. You need water. You're going to die. You're going to die, mate, without water. The good old days. Nowadays, I don't know, man. It's all that other stuff. All that terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. You know, look what it's done to Frankston. Look how it's destroyed Frankston, bro. You know, like that place is unsafe after dark. It's just unsafe. That whole, straight off, as soon as you get off the train, everything in front of you is totally, you know, basically off limits after dark. Okay? Too many alleyways, too many little niches, mate. Okay? And it's dangerous there, man. Like, seriously. I was there on stream on YouTube, bro. And, like, I'm talking to YouTube, yeah? And a guy walks up with a KNIFE in his hand and says, hand over your thing, hand over your wallet, and he's got it in his hand. And I've just put him straight on camera. Mate, you're on live stream. You know, you're now been identified. You've got a thing in your hand, and you're on live stream. He looked at my camera, looked it up and down, and just took off down the road. But that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Like, that was straight opposite the train station. Straight opposite. As soon as you go down that little alley there, bang. You know? So yeah, very dangerous, man. Frankston's gone to shite, mate. I don't know what Dandenong's like. Every time I go to Dandenong, there's a pile of cops at the station. Yeah, make sure you got a ticket. There's always a pile of fucking cops there, bro. Like 12 people there, you know, 10 people there outside the turnstile. So I don't know what's going on over there. I was sitting there watching a bust one day. I was getting on the train and on the platform, and I could see it was happening, man, too, on the other platform. And I'm on the city-bound one. They're on the Frankston one or whatever it is. Not Frank, whatever the other back. Anyway, it's all going down. Cops have come out of everywhere. There's got this guy on the floor. There's other guy, this plain clothes guy. He's looking around, and he pegs me. He pegs me looking at him and looking at everything. And he's just watching me. I'll fucking shit myself, bro, because I'm carrying, bro. So I get into the train, lodge it, fucking put it into a seat and lodge it, sit fucking 3 or 4 things down in case this fucking blue coat comes